What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the College Football 26 rebuild here with Mississippi State. I'm DSG. And today we'll get through our very first season. Yeah, we're going to fly through the first season just to get to the off season, really, and, see what we can do. We do have rules for recruiting and the transfer portal there in the description. So if you want to take a look at those, feel free to. But right now we're just going to jump right in. We're going to jump into the season, of course. Obviously, I'm going to set up my recruiting board, my prospects, and all that stuff. And then after that, we're going to jump to the fourth game. After the fourth game of this season, and we'll give you an update on how recruiting is going, how we got on in our first 4 games, and we'll go from there. We'll go through our out of conference schedule and see how we got on. So let's jump right into that. So in week 1, we did beat Southern Miss in a pretty high scoring game. 24 points left up to Southern Miss. I would have preferred it to be a little bit better, even though they did only get 285 yards of offense. But we were pretty good, ran the ball well, so did they. But we did beat them 45-24. Blake Shapen, who's our quarterback for the year, did have a really good game. 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 71% completion percentage for us. Rushing the ball, Fluff Bothwell, really good, 137. Devon Booth got in there a little bit. I would like him to get more carries. And again, when you look at it, we did run the ball 20 times, and we had Devon Booth get not 20 times, 27 times, and he got a little bit. I would like him to get a little bit more, but I mean, if he's only running 7 for 24, obviously that's not the best that we would like him to do. Receiving, it was Jordan Mosley who was the main target. He had 10 receptions for 108, but Brennan Thompson also had a really nice game for 6 for 88. In fact, we actually had a really good game all around. Our 3 best players, Aiden Williams, Brennan Thompson, and Jordan Mosley, all had a really, really good game. Williams and Mosley came up with the touchdowns. Looks like our only player who left up sacks was Blake Steen. He left up 2, which is not a good look, but nonetheless, it's only 2 sacks. Defensively, our best player in terms of tackles was Isaac Smith. He seemed to have a good game, 8 tackles, but in terms of our tackles for loss, we had 2 from Kendrick Bingley Jones at defensive tackle, a senior. And Calvin Dinkins also had a few from our home state of Mississippi. In terms of sacks, it was Bingley Jones who got the sacks. He was the two sacks that we got today were from him. So a good start to the year, but we expected us to. We should be beating them, and we were able to beat them. So a good start to the season there. And unfortunately, our travels down to Texas Tech, or across, I should say, have ended in defeat. Now, it was a good game. We actually did go down early, but we made our way back, and we had a good game. We actually had more first downs, more offense, more plays, more yards to play. We actually played a really good game. The only thing we seemed to have lost on was on the scoreboard. So, these are all really positive signs. So there's nothing really that you can give out about. One big thing the reason why we lost, I suppose, when you see all the things that we did well, is the turnover battle. We lost that, which is probably the reason why we did lose. But other than that, we actually had a pretty decent game. Now, Blake Shapen put in another 300-yard performance, but 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They ain't gonna cut it. Obviously, we love the 2 touchdowns, but the 2 interceptions, that's not what we want to see. This time, 4 sacks were left up, so not that great for our offensive line. Rushing the ball, we didn't have any success here today, only rushing the ball 16 times. Fluff Bothwell did reasonably well, and Devon Booth also did reasonably well, but it seems like we were passing so much because of us being behind that, Bothwell and Booth didn't get in. But I like the fact that Booth had a better percentage of the carries to this time, just under 50%. So that's a good sign. Receiving, Jordan Mosley and Williams once again gets 2 really good performances. Cam Thompson also gets a few catches. Jaron Glover, Bothwell. It looks like Glover's got hurt, so he's obviously going to be out. Must look at the injury list here, see if we got any injuries in week one. Definitely Glover is an injury there. Um, but Bothwell got a few catches. Brennan Thompson, he didn't um, didn't get a great amount of catches this week, Thompson, but Williams and Mosley did a really good job. On the defensive side, Brandon Jennings gets 8 tackles and he sacks today. Just to wood, it's Will Whitson. So, not the greatest of performances here, but we did keep up well. There was a good few tackles for loss here. Bingley Jones gets his third of the season. So, there's positive signs, but it probably could be a game that we could have won if Shapen was able to not turn over the ball as much. Looking at the injury report, yes, indeed, Jaron Glover is injured. He got a broken collarbone. He's only out for 5 weeks, so it's not massive, but we are going to miss him. He's someone we'd like to keep around, junior impact trait, so yeah, unfortunately, his playing style is what's could possibly be a deal breaker, but with him being hurt, we'll have to wait and see. We're back to winning ways against USF. Back at home again, and we win 48-21. A bit of a domination there. We were actually 48-14 up after 3 quarters. We had a really, really, really good day. Now, one thing I am a little bit concerned with is we did give up a lot of rushing yards to USF. So that's something that, we want to take a look at. But certainly a good day today. That's how we how we lost our last game is how we won it here today. No turnovers today, 3 for USF. That's how we ended up winning the game, basically. Looking at how we got on, Blake Shapen, another really good performance. Another 300-yard performance from Shapen, and another 3 touchdowns. 57% completion rate percentage. We'd obviously like that to be a little bit better. But he's done really, really well in his first 3 games, even though he did give up those 2 interceptions. But now he's got a 7-2 interception ratio for the season. That's pretty damn good. Next up, we've got rushing, and we've actually got Blake Shapen running the ball a little bit here. He had 10 carries for only 22 yards. Booth and Bothwell actually shared the running here again. Bothwell did not have the best day, only going 30-43, while Booth was a little bit better, going 7-39. We did get 3 touchdowns from them, though Bothwell got 2, Shapen got 1. In the receiving game, Mosley once again coming out on top, but Aiden Williams always seems to be able to find the end zone. The big issue now, though, is he might end up transferring, as he wants to have a pro potential of a B, and we only have a D minus, so that's a big deal breaker for us. Brennan Thompson also got a touchdown, but once again, Jordan Mosley is our big contributor today in terms of yards. He went 10 for 115. Seydou Traore gets his first receptions of the year as well. I don't think he's got many. He's the tight end. Evans, the third, and Devon Booth also came up with a catch as well. Defensively, we had a few tackles for loss here. Brandon Jennings is coming up a lot in the statistics. He had 6 tackles. Javen Williams had 8. Not really what you want to see is one of your highest tackling players, or 2 of your guys in the secondary. Hunter Washington also had 8 tackles. In terms of sacks, we only had the 1 today. Brandon Jennings once again on the man who comes up. In terms of interceptions, we had Isaac Smith and Javen Williams, 2 boys who came up with the interceptions today. So, pretty good game for us all round. Pretty happy with how it turned out. That being said, we did get another player on the injured list. Kelly Jones is after hurting himself with an injured, broken toe. He's going to be out for 4 weeks. But once again, he'll be back soon enough. And of course, with the length only being 4 weeks, we'll have both these players back soon enough. And I'm not surprised that we go out to California and lose 24-45. It was a pretty good game at halftime. We were up by 3, But in the second half, UCLA absolutely dominated us and ran away with the game. So not a really good look for us in the second half. Looking at us, it's clear what happened. Luke Cromenhoek had to come in and did not do well. He threw 4 interceptions. Blake Shapen had gotten off to a pretty decent start going 8-12, but he's not hurt. It's not long term. It was just he got hurt in the game, wear and tear, things like that, and Shapen was taken out. So unfortunately, that's the type of dealio we have to live with here, as Shapen had to be taken out. Looking at rushing here, didn't really spread the ball around here. Shapen, Mosley, Booth, Fluff, Bothwell all got touches. Receiving, Brennan Thompson, Jordan Mosley. Usually these two guys are there. Aiden Williams for the first time didn't really get much production. Cam Thompson was the only man with a touchdown. Defensively, Nick Mitchell comes out of nowhere to get 12 tackles. 1.5 sacks there for Will Whitson. Very good return from him as he gets 4 tackles for loss during the day. Have a sack there for Isaac Smith as well. There was 1 interception. That was Hunter Washington. That's 3rd now in 2 games, I believe, with a really good return from our defense, even if we did give up the amount of points that we did. But given that we had numerous turnovers because of our sophomore quarterback who had to come in, it's no surprise that we ended up losing by as much as we did. Looking at the roster, you can see there was some wear and tear issues for Blake Shapen, even though it is low. Nothing crazy for Blake Shapen, so he should be okay for the next game. Let's hope he is, because we need him on the field if we want to really get anywhere in the SEC for this season. I don't think we will, but we did start 2-2, against competition that I suppose 2-2 sounds about right given the competition we had. But yeah, I don't want to see Cromenhoek being sent out to the Wolves, even if he does have a star dev trait. Yeah, not a good look. He could also be gone if we're not careful. But now the thing that everybody's been waiting to see, it's just finished week 4. We're just about to head into conference play, and we're going to look at the recruiting. First off, we've got a 5-star receiver who's from right here in Mississippi, George Little. And he's not just a 5-star, he's a 5-star gem. I've been pitching him campus personality to get his pitches, to get him to commit, basically. He's on his top 5 now. Kansas is the only one who's really giving us a go. But right now, I do think that of all the players that we will be able, George Little is at the top of our list. We're doing really, really well with him. Looking at his skills, the awareness isn't great. He's not a top-end speed guy, but he's got really good route running. His catching's at a really, really good stage as a freshman coming in. Now, he is only 5'9", 178 pounds, so maybe you probably would be more likely to play him in the slot. But he's a 5-star, really good receiver, and someone who I think could be one of the best players at this school. He could go pro. Obviously, the size, you probably question it, but a really, really good player and someone I wanted to bring in from the beginning. Another wide receiver is Baraka Okwe. And he's another guy who's from Missouri who I really, really liked. We're really trying to get it. We can schedule a visit now. We'll be doing that this week. Just to go back to that, we scheduled a visit for George Little. He's coming to the school this week. We're playing Tennessee. There's a few players like that. Baraka Okwe. We will schedule a visit here. I'll go with Ole Miss. It's a little bit... Actually, do you know what? I'm just going to go for the bye week, because I don't think we're going to beat Texas. I don't think we're going to beat Georgia. So we're just going to go for the bye week here and take what we can get. With the conference prestige or playing style, go to A+. I'll go with conference prestige because I know that can change. So I'll just go with that. So Baraka Ogokwe has a really good chance of coming to us as well. Awareness not great, but he's a little bit faster than George Little. The route running, very, very good as well. He's also a gem, but he's a 4-star gem. So really, really good player there. Good catch in traffic as well, and a really good ball catcher. So they're getting a really good starting points, and it's a 6'1", 185 pounder. He's doing really well, and someone who I'd like to bring in. Next up is Earl Story, a Mike linebacker, 4-star from Mississippi. Another really good player. 80 speed, some good strength and pursuit, but still he's a thumper archetype, but still has a zone coverage of 80. So he's like a really he's a starting caliber um, linebacker this early in his development. His man coverage isn't great, but as a linebacker, I wouldn't want him to be on many players. Maybe a tight end every now and again, but he's a really good player, and he's 6'1", 233, so good size. This is the first guy I'm recruiting who's a bust. He's a 3-star bust, but I really liked where his well-roundedness is. He's from Louisiana, and of course that's a gold pipeline, which means that we can recruit up to 4 stars. But Aubrey is a 3-star. I do think he's pretty good. He's 6'5", 321. I do think he could be a good right tackle. I think it's a good place for us to be. We're currently leading this one as well. We're actually leading all of these top 4. Kansas, USCF, Georgia. No one's really coming up against us for Earl Story. So for Earl Story or for Markel Aubrey. So really happy with that. But I do think even though he is a bust, he's actually got some good ratings. Next is the left tackle. He's a JUCO junior transfer, and that is Quan Hicks. Now, the reason I've gone for him is because I really think that we need offensive linemen, and I think he's just so well-rounded with good impact blocking. His power is there, good pass block. The one thing that worries me is we don't see his strength. We don't know what his strength is, so I'm questioning whether he's a really strong guy or not. I do like Quan Hicks, though. I think he's a good player to bring in. We could redshirt him. He'd be a junior. He's got decent awareness. But to be a junior, like we go back to Aubrey here, he's 4 points ahead of him. So I really do think that they're really, really good players. And I do want to get some good offensive linemen. Next up is a guard, another offensive lineman, Demetrius Callaway. Really powerful player. Not really into his finesse, but his pass blocking stat is really good. It's 67 for like a raw strength guy, and he's got some good pass block power. Obviously, he's coming out of Alabama, and we can only recruit 3 stars from Silver Pipelines. And I think Demetrius Callaway is a good player. I don't know how great he, could be down the line, but I think with his archetype, he could get better. It's just he's going to struggle with finesse rushers. Now, I don't think his finesse is terrible. Obviously, finesse for 58 pass block is pretty bad, but his run block finesse isn't disgraceful. It's not completely gone, and his 91 strength is really good. As a mauler on the interior, I'd really like Demetrius Callaway. Next up is another offensive lineman. Now, I know you're probably thinking, why are you going for all these offensive linemen? The way you win in the SEC and in football in general is in the trenches, and I want to get players that will help us with that. And Trevon Adams is another really good raw strength guard. Another guy who's got some really good ratings. His pass block and run block power are better than Callaway, and his finesse is around the same. They're just switched, I think, between pass block and run block. Really good player. We are currently second in this one. The Raging Cajuns, I think that is currently ahead of us, but I expect us to actually win that one. We lost our a guy who was a will linebacker, Marion Vickerson. We were right there, but he's decided to commit to LSU. Really disappointed with that. He was a really good player. He was a 4-star from Louisiana, so it's not surprising that he's gone to LSU. But he's a guy who's, someone who could be a signal corner for your defense, a captain of the defense. He's got some good zone coverage. Unfortunately, he's gone to LSU. I want to get some corners on the team, and Jose Davidson from Mississippi was someone I really liked. His man coverage is where he's really good, but his speed is really bad for the position. I like the fact that he's got a really good change of direction. It makes me feel like he could be a really good slot corner, a really physical slot corner. But I'm questioning how good he can be with 83 speed. His zone coverage isn't good. His press is an issue as well. But I need cornerbacks on this team, and I think that Jose Davidson could be someone that we could pick up pretty easily. No one else is really going for him, so. But he's not my top cornerback target. That would be JT Hanna, who we are currently in front for at the moment. We can schedule a visit. We'll do that right now, and it's also going to be the bye week. And we're going to give it to proximity to home. So that's pretty good. But looking at his scouting, he's got two things off the bat that I like. He's a balanced cornerback. He can cover man, he can cover zone. His press is decent. It's not amazing at this point. And he's actually got really good tackling. He's 6'1", 176, which I really like in corners for them to be tall. I do like him as a corner, as an outside corner. His change of direction isn't as good. He's not a top speed guy. Like 86 speed is a bit low, but I do think that he could be good enough to cover in this league down the line. This is him coming in as a freshman. What is he going to be as a redshirt sophomore or junior? I do think he could be good enough for us. He's also from the state of Mississippi. My favorite free safety is Telvin Franks, and we're leading for him too. He is coming this week, so we want to do well against Tennessee. Looking at him, he's a box safety that has some zone coverage upside at 71 already. Really good speed, really good awareness. His tackling is great. A really good free safety at 6'2", 201. Exact type of size that you want for a box specialist free safety. And he's going to get bigger. He's a freshman coming out of Louisiana. Really like this guy. Think he could be really good. Someone we do need something is Carmelo Lester, a punter. I put in some moderate points into him because we need him. He's from Mississippi. He's got a cannon of a boot with 91 power and 82 kick accuracy. So he's actually a pretty good punter. And could also be a pretty good kicker if we need him to be. Didn't fully scout him because I don't need to know the rest of his attributes. But someone we do need to bring in. He's also pretty big, 6'1", 215 for a punter. We'll take that. Jimmy Bibbs is an athlete that I really liked, and we've actually moved up in the last few weeks to get ahead of Auburn. He's from Louisiana, and the reason I like him is because of the speed, change of direction, and carrying mix that he's got there. He's also really good at catching the football. It's like this guy is really well rounded, even though they call him an East-West playmaker. I just think he's a really well rounded back. He's got some rack. He can break some tackles. He's got some a little bit of wiggle on him with his juke move and his speed and change of direction. I really like Jimmy Bibbs. I think he could be a really, really good player for us as a 4-star athlete. And the last guy who I'm actively recruiting as of right now is a quarterback, a dual threat quarterback from Louisiana, 6'2", 203, Mike McCroy. Right at the moment, he is in his top 8. I'm recruiting him ahead of LSU, Bama, but most teams aren't really doing much to try and get him. The reason why I'm so happy, or I'm so interested in getting him, is his throw power is at 93. He's got 93 throw power with 86 speed. This is the type of quarterback that anyone wants. You can mold Mike McCroy into a really good player. He's got good under pressure rating. His throw on the run is pretty good. And his accuracies aren't terrible. 73, 70, and 65 for his short, medium, and deep accuracy, respectively, are not disgraceful. The short accuracy is good, 73, and deep accuracy could get into the late 70s by the time he starts in his his redshirt junior, or his redshirt senior season. I think Mike McCroy is going to be a really good quarterback for us, even as a 3-star from Louisiana. So and they're the guys who I've kind of actively recruited. There are a few guys still on the board that I'm interested in, that I will actually, put in some more hours. I still have 65 hours to put in this week. Obviously, we will have to remove Marion Vickerson, unfortunately. I do want to get some edge players because we just don't have them right now. I did want to get some defensive linemen. Unfortunately, the ones that I found were all busts and they looked really bad. And that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to find some defensive linemen. I would also like to find some running backs. I know I only have one in, where is he? Jimmy Bibbs. I'd like to get someone else and maybe get another quarterback. I think we're good for wide receivers. I think George Little and Baraka Ogokwe will be really good receivers. And if we can get them, we're going to be set up for a receiver for a long time. But I just want to make sure that we get enough in the offensive line, get enough in the defensive line, and we get enough in the back end. So I want to make the back end is the defense, that is. I just want to make sure that we get enough because we have a bunch of players to replace. And the transfer portal is not going to be very nice to us because I know we can only bring in guys who have 2 stars or lower because that's the rule. So that's tough, but we will do our best. I do think that we'll do a pretty good job at bringing in players. Even if we just get George Little or Gokwe and maybe Mike McCroy and some defense players, it'll be a good class. You want to talk about a team coming up clutch when they need to with big visits coming in this week. Mississippi State have upset Tennessee at home, 28-17. It was a really good start to the game. They were actually up 17-12, but in the fourth quarter we scored 16 points and beat them 28-17. What a great result for this Mississippi State team, and once again the turnover battle was the difference. They had 3 turnovers, we only had 1. That's how we win these games, and just a really good performance from us. Looking at the player stats, Chapin back on the field again. Did only have 1 touchdown to 1 interception, but he did enough to win the game. Running the ball, we had Fluff Bothwell did a really good job. Devon Booth also did a really good job. Our offense wasn't crazy amazing this game. Aiden Williams did lead the team in yards. Brennan Thompson got the touchdown. Looking at defensively, I feel like our defense is what actually got us the win, and looks like it did. We got a safety from Brandon Jennings, who's been constantly coming up at some of the top of the statistics and just a stat sheet stuffer, it seems. Bingley Jones gets another sack. A few tackles for loss here for, as the previously mentioned, Bingley Jones. Jennings and Smith also got tackles. Leader was Hunter Washington. So we're actually having a really good season. We're going to do another 4 games and then come back to the recruiting. But we actually won our SEC opener against Tennessee at home. Actually, I think we've won every game at home that we've played at home and lost every game we've played away from home. So that just shows you that playing at home for Mississippi State is a big thing, and we were able to beat Tennessee and get some really positive visits for the players who came in to see us. The streak continues. We're at home. We're unbeatable, it seems. We're very beatable. 31-17 to Texas A&M. They really ran it well on the ground, to be fair to them, and they did well on touchdowns. We throwing our 3 turnovers is always going to be problematic. Looking at our player stats, again, Blake Shapen 2 for 2, not really putting in the performances that he was earlier in the season. But nonetheless, he's actually done reasonably well this year. The running game has been really bad. Fluff Bothwell is going, I would assume he's going to leave. He has a deal breaker for championship contender. We're way behind an A- championship contender. So for him to even, it's not going to be surprising when he leaves. We need to get a running back, and hopefully he can be the man who does it. We're going to struggle because a lot of these players are going to transfer. I've seen the deal breakers, and they're probably going to go receiving. Thompson gets 2 more touchdowns, so that's actually really, really good. He's got 74 yards today. Mosley 71. Aiden Williams, he's also another guy who's more than likely going to go because of his pro potential. But it's tough for us at the moment. Nick Mitchell out here getting 13 tackles with Javen Williams getting 10. Something you don't want to see with your secondary players getting 10 or double-digit tackles. But we did get 3 sacks. Bingley Jones once again gets to the quarterback. Tyshawn Willis, a Will linebacker, a thumper. He's a freshman who got on the field. Very nice. Been able to get a sack. And also Calvin Dinkins, a junior, who I think has already got a sack this season. In terms of TFLs, Bingley Jones, of course, got 3, and a rake of players got a few. No interceptions. We did have a fumble recovery, I believe. No, I thought they had 1 turnover. I'm pretty sure it did say that, but it doesn't really matter. But that's a loss, and now we're 3-3. So going back to the injury report, we've actually got a new one. It's Will Whitson, who's actually done a really good job so far this year. He's gone for 6 games. That'll probably bring him up to the end of the season. But we do have Kelly Jones and Jerron Glover coming back. We are on our bye week, so that's good. But Whitson will indeed go. So that's a real shame. But he's pretty good. He's done a really good job. But he's gone now for probably the rest of the season. Bang! We've turned the tide. Our first win away from Mississippi State, the Davis Wade Stadium, as we beat Florida 32-28. Basically losing in every category other than 4th down and 2-point conversions and turnovers. You win the turnover battle, you tend to win the game in college football 26. And we beat Florida. That's another team who were in the top 25 that we've beaten. That's the second time we've done that. I think no, Tennessee weren't in there. Maybe they were. I can't remember. Anywho, Blake Shapen, another really good game. 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception at 75% completion rate. Roman Hope did have to play for a little bit, but nonetheless, we still got the win. Running game still really, really struggling. Fluff Bothwell just not going to be staying around next year. He's just not doing great. Though our championship contender is getting better. It's at a B- now, and we are 4-3. We're getting better, so maybe we might be able to keep him, but we're just not running the ball very well right now. Receiving, Aiden Williams, 119, bang, for 8 receptions. Really good year for Aiden Williams. Brendan Thompson also got 1 for a touchdown. Then we have Jerron Glover getting 2 touchdowns here right as he comes back from injury. Had a very, very extended period out. He was out for, 5 weeks? So, or it could have been 6. But yeah, he gets 2 touchdowns here. Jordan Mosley also gets a really, really good return as well. 63 for 6. Defensively, we had 9 tackles from Isaac Smith, tackles for loss, 2 for Rasheem Thomas. Haven't seen his name come up that much, but he did get a sack today. Interception wise, Jerron Manning got it, our free safety, another player we haven't seen much of today. Fumble recoveries, 2 for Nick Mitchell. He also forced 1. Really good, really good game for us as we win against Florida Gators. A big win for us too. You wanted the surprise of the season? We just beat Texas 24-23 in what looked to be an extremely good game. Obviously, it would have been a great one to watch, but obviously we want to speed through this first season. But in the future, we might just look at a game against Texas, especially since this game was so good. If you look at the statistics, again, winning the turnover battle again. I had no idea Mississippi was going to come out and go 3-1 in the conference in their first 4 games. Unbelievable. Blake Shapen goes 267 with a 2 touchdown to 1 interception. So he's still playing clean enough football for us to get the win. Rushing, Bothwell finally got his first big game of the season, 82 yards on 11 carries. Receiving, Jordan Mosley, 131 yards for 11. Spread it around then to some other guys. So Bothwell got a touchdown, as did Jordan Mosley. We don't really look at blocking, but we did give up numerous sacks today. But looking at tackles, Brandon Jennings and Isaac Smith are there. Tackles for loss, a few there. Bledsoe, Dinkins, Bingley Jones, and Williams. Sacks, just the two, with Williams and Bledsoe and Dinkins getting half a sack each. We had two interceptions. Kelly Jones and Jerron Manning both getting interceptions. Did we have any fumbles? I don't think we did this game. No, we did not. But we did beat Texas. Speaking of Texas, how did Arch Manning get on? Not great. He did throw for 309 yards, but he threw two interceptions. Really happy with this return. We've done really well this season. And we're 5-3 through 8 games, 3-1 in conference. Through 8 weeks, the Heisman Watch has Tucker Gleason here as the second one, but John Mateer is leading right now. Kevin Jennings, Fernando Mendoza, Diego Pavia, all there. Plenty of guys you wouldn't really expect from schools. I know SMU, Indiana, and Vanderbilt are all ranked, but Toledo's Tucker Gleason's doing a great job here. But we'll have to wait and see who wins it at the end of the year. Looking at the bowl projections, we are 5-3. Michigan are 6-2. We are projected to go against them in the ReliaQuest Bowl, so we would have to be at home for that. So that's cool. We're not ranked or anything, so I really doubt that that's going to happen, because I would assume Michigan are going to climb up the rankings again and get into the college football playoffs. But right now we are online for getting a bowl game. Though we're not bowl eligible yet. We're on 5-3, but looks like we're going to be projected to go to one. Could we win the conference? It's a possibility. We're 3-1 right now. Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Georgia are all in the running for it right now. Georgia is 4-1, so they have the advantage. Vanderbilt, who was a team who I also thought that needed to be rebuilt, also came in here. But we've been really good. I'm really surprised at how good as Mississippi State has been. Bama, Texas A&M, they're all on 3 wins as well. So we're not completely out of the woods. But we could get to the conference finals. You know, that's a possibility here. But we still do have to face Georgia. That's a big game, and a tough one too. And they are leading the conference. So I'm not totally saying that we're going to just, get there, but there's a chance, and I didn't think that there was going to be. We're currently 4-0 at home. We did get our first win away there recently, so really, really, really happy with it. The big thing that you can kind of see, it's sticking out like a sore thumb there, is our point differential is not the same as guys like Oklahoma and Georgia and even Vanderbilt and even Alabama who are behind us. So like that's crazy to me. Like, we're 25 point differential, we're not putting up massive points, but we're winning games, and that's all that matters. Looking at the season stats so far this season, Blake Shapen has done a pretty decent job. He's gotten just under 2,000 yards on a 15-7 touchdown interception ratio. That's not terrible. 2.7% interception percentage, that's fine. 2-to-1 in TD interception ratio, I'm fine with that. 7.5 yards per attempt. He's doing more than enough to win games. He's got a 62% completion rate. I'm happy with that. Where I'm not happy is the running game. Now, we are built to shoot, to throw the ball. Bothwell has done really well, though, in terms of getting touchdowns. He's had 542 carries. He's been efficient. Devon Booth is not getting that much running opportunities, but he's doing well with what he can do. We don't really need a great running back, is what I've kind of learned. But so far, we're doing well with what we've done. We're really spreading the ball around, as you can see here. Jordan Mosley is the guy who is leading the team in both yards and receptions, but Williams and Thompson have more touchdowns than him. Williams has 4, Thompson has 5. We've also got guys like Cam Thompson, who's not played much, but he's got 142 yards in 6 receptions in 8 games, so he's done quite well. Jerron Glover came back recently. He's got some stuff, got some reception. So we've been doing pretty well in the receiving game. On defense, Isaac Smith comes through with 54 tackles. Nick Mitchell also has had a good few tackles as well. He's popped up a few times. In terms of sacks, we all know who it's going to be. Yep, Bingley Jones. Now, he's only got 4. Will Whitson had 2.5 before he got hurt. So not really great in terms of us getting pressure on the quarterback. But it's not been terrible. In terms of interceptions, we've had a few turnovers. Jerron Manning has the most with 3. But we've got a good few players on 2. Okay, now to recruiting. And we have a ton of great news. George Little indeed will come to Mississippi State. He has committed to us. Really, really happy with it. Really good receiver. A 5-star receiver on our first recruiting trail here in the first season. Great for us. And a top 5 player in the position. Top 25 player nationally. Great player to bring in. But we also brought in Baraka Ogokwe, who's also basically a 5-star receiver. Really good player from Mississippi as well. Faster than Little. We just got really good receivers now. Especially with the possibility of some receivers leaving. Another recruit, Earl Story, a Mike linebacker. Really good for us as well. Another Mississippi recruit. So we've actually brought in a lot of guys from Mississippi, but they're all really good players. Earl Story is a 4-star, really good, well-rounded thumper. Even though they said he's a thumper, he's got really good zone coverage. He's a starting caliber Mike linebacker right out the gate. I don't know if I need to have him as a redshirt next year, because I could play him if I need to. But we'll see what the depth chart is looking at. We also brought in Markel Aubrey. Now, I know he's a bust. I understand that. But he's from Louisiana. He's 6'5", 321. And he's got really well-rounded skill set. Like, I understand that he is a bust, but he's a really well-rounded guard or tackle. Now, I don't know about him in terms of agility, but as a freshman, these are really good ratings. Like, I don't understand why he's considered a bust. Quan Hicks, we're still recruiting. He's still a really good option for us. Left tackle, one player that I really wanted to bring in, so he's still there. Demetrius Callaway, not quite as good as some of the other offensive linemen we've got on the board, but I'm still recruiting him a little bit. Trevon Adams, I think he's going to be gone soon. Oh no, we're actually right there with the Raging Cajuns. I think I'm thinking of someone else. No, this is who I was thinking of. Lawrence Bulaga. There was a top 3. We were actually out of it, but we had a visit in week 9. Now, we can put we're going to have to do a lot to try and get up the board here. I'm half tempted to just take us out. The reason being is because we've got UAB with a visit in week 13, and he's not amazing. He's a good center, don't get me wrong. I would really like to get a center, but unfortunately, I just think as a JUCO, I think we should just remove him. So I'm removing him off the board here. But he was a good player that we could target. Romeo Carmen haven't really been looking at. Malachi Sheets has had absolutely no interest from anywhere. He is a JUCO sophomore, but he's a really, really good cornerback. Again, not a very high-end speed guy, but good enough man coverage, good enough zone coverage as a sophomore. His press isn't amazing, but I like his change of direction and agility. I think he's got a lot of good attributes that he has. Sometimes I just completely lose my train of thought. But he's really good. He's got good size as well. Really good player for us to bring in. Jose Davidson is from Mississippi. He's 6'2", 196. He's bigger. I'm not really been actively recruiting him as a bump and run guy. 69 man coverage is decent, but his speed isn't great. I do like his slot capabilities with his change of direction and acceleration, and his awareness is at a very high level. I just don't know where he fits into this team. Like, I understand you've got 69 zone coverage or man coverage, and you're a high school graduate. I just think that right now we can look at better players Speaking of better players, we did get one. JT Hanna was another guy who has committed to Mississippi State. I went after him really hard. Now I understand awareness is low, but his man coverage and zone coverage skills are similar to Malachi Sheets. He's a little bit faster. He's not quite as good when it comes to. I think he actually is better when it comes to like press and stuff, maybe slightly. But in terms of what he could be, 3 years of development, he could be really good. He's a cornerback. He's coming out of high school, 6'1", 176. Him and Sheets are very close together. Sheets is a little bit heavier, but when it comes to like what they bring, they're both mid-speed, good all-round coverage guys. The difference is really that JT Hanna isn't quite as good as a ball hawk. He's not going to catch many balls, but he's a really good corner, and if we can get Malachi Sheets, that's two really good corners into our secondary. Speaking of our secondary, we got another really good commit here. Is a free safety, a box specialist, Telvin Franks. But he's not really a box specialist because he's got 71 zone coverage with 88 speed. He's actually got decent catching, and his tackling is really good. He's actually really well rounded, 6'2", 201 from Louisiana. Really like Telvin Franks. I think he's an excellent a free safety coming out of high school. Really someone I'm looking at, and that I was looking at to bring in, and was able to do so. So really good commit there. Talked about the punter already. Carmelo Lester needs to make a decision. We are leading. He is in his top 3 now. I would assume that this visit will probably get him there. We are on week 9, or either we just passed week 9 or we're on week 9. I'm not 1000% sure. But Lester will probably come in soon. He's got good ratings. Pretty happy with where things are going with this one. Coming in to Jimmy Bibbs now, top 5. We need running backs because I do think that Fluff Bothwell is going to leave. Jimmy Bibbs is probably the best one on the board. Good speed, good change of direction. Has pretty much everything you want in a running back as a 4-star athlete. Really happy with Jimmy Bibbs. Hopefully he'll choose us, but there are some really good ACC schools in the running. I think is that Auburn or Virginia? I'm not 1000% sure. It's kind of hard to see on the screen. But really good, really good player that we're battling with other SEC schools with. Next is Carrie Christmas, and we actually jumped into this really late. We need a tight end, and I decided to bring in Christmas. He's not really. His archetype is a pure blocker, and he's got really good strength. But I think he has the ability to just be a really well-rounded tight end. Like, his catching traffic is okay, his short route is okay, his catching is okay, his run blocking is okay. He's just a really well-rounded tight end, which is really rare. Like, it's very rare. Even though he's stated as a pure blocker, I think he would be a really good player to bring in. He's from Texas. Really like him. Looking forward to seeing if we can bring him in. He's still in his top 10. He's going to be cutting off soon. We rose straight to the top. Boston College, Texas, Ohio State, Florida, loads of big schools. Actually, that's USC, not Boston College. But really, like, top quality schools. I do think Carrie Christmas could be a really good tight end for us. Mike McCroy still hasn't made his decision. I really think he's a good quarterback for us, though. He's not going to be there anytime soon. I'm going to say that now. He is a gem 3-star. Really good throw power. His short accuracy and medium accuracy are good. His deep accuracy needs some work, but is under pressure and throw on the run are really good starting points for a freshman. Really like Mike McCroy. He's not going to start year one, I will tell you that right now. But he's a really good quarterback, and I'm looking forward to getting him into the program. Next up is Andres Ramirez. We came into this battle really late, only in the last few weeks, but no one had really offered anything to him, and I was really happy with that. So what we basically have is a pure power defensive tackle. Now, we needed defensive line depth. I hadn't really gone for much early in the recruiting, but as a 3-star, he's got a lot of positives. 81 power moves, 82 strength. Really like him. His block shedding is a bit iffy, but I do like the tackle. I like the pursuit. The speed, Obviously, as a defensive tackle, he's not going to be someone who's going to, be, sprinting after the quarterback. But I do like Andres Ramirez, really good guy. We're the only one who's recruiting right now. We're the only one who's given him an offer. Another defensive tackle, completely different, TJ Stamer. He is a gap specialist, really strong, really good block shedding. Doesn't really have the pass rush abilities, but his pursuit and tackle are really good. Could be a really good player for us. Another really exciting player. I think TJ Stamer could be a really good player for us to stop the run. You need those players. There are some role specialists that you need. He's the guy who I saw. Pure Power, George Mesa was someone I really liked as a edge rusher. Really good power moves. Really like the block shedding. He's got upside on both sides of the run and the pass. The only problem I have is his speed's not great to be an edge rusher. His pursuit is good and his tackle is good, but his speed is questionable. 61 speed. I don't think even if he gets past, unless he's going to work inside, which he very much could do with his power moves. George Mesa is a guy who I think could be really good, a 3-star. Someone who I really would have liked to have gotten was Ben Irwin, but unfortunately he has locked us out. He was a really good player, speed rusher, 75 speed rusher with good tackling, finesse moves were good. Would have liked him. He does have a little bit less in the running game as Mesa, so I do think Mesa is the more well-rounded player. So that's not a terrible thing, but it would have been nice to get someone off the edge. He's not wicked fast, which probably would have hurt him, so I can understand why, it's not the worst that he's not coming to us, but I think he would have been a good player. And here at the end were just a few running backs that I were looking at. Matt Boudreau, which is someone I really like. He's got a really good change of direction. His carrying is good. He's got good catching. Kind of can do a little bit of everything. Just not really a break tackle kind of guy. Just kind of more of a, can move well. Got some decent speed on him. Not amazing speed by any stretch of the imagination, but has enough. Kind of like almost a receiver out of the backfield. But a pretty good player and someone who I was thinking about bringing in until I saw Stephen Wooten from Arizona. So someone who's not a part of the pipeline. One of the only players who isn't a part of the pipeline, which means he's a 2-star, but he's a 2-star gem. At 6 foot 202, he's an elusive bruiser. He's quite slow. His acceleration's not great, but he's actually got a pretty good change of direction. And his break tackle is good, his carrying is good, everything you want in a bruiser, which is why he's an elusive bruiser, because he's got that change of direction. His catching's not great, but in short yardage situations, I would be more than happy to give the ball to Stephen Wooten. At this 2-star gem, I'm very happy that I found him. The last one I've kind of been trying to take a look at here is Miguel Chestnut. He's a contact seeker. He's 6'1", 227. So he's really Stephen Wooten, but better. So he's someone I will be looking into over the next few weeks. Someone I will want to bring in. I would also like to take a look at my running backs and see if I can get like a 6'5", 240, just big, massive athlete who's like a 2-star. I'll have to wait and see if they're out there. I'd also like to see if I can get more edge rushers, because I do still have to scout these guys, so we will do that. But yeah, I think we've done a really good job with what we've had so far this year. If we go to the top classes, I believe we're in the top 20. We may not be anymore. Looks like it's not. No, we're still in the top 20. We have the 17th ranked class with a 5-star, 3 4s, and 2 3s. So we've got a really good recruiting class. I'm shocked at the way that this season has gone. I honestly thought that we wouldn't go anywhere. And maybe we'd get a bowl game, I thought. Maybe if we could get some good results in our out-of-conference schedule. But we went 2-2 in that, and we're 3-1 in conference. So if we can win one more game, which I would expect us to do, maybe against Arkansas in our next game, we could actually do something. And we'll have to wait and see. But right now, we're going into our last 4 games. We'll see if we're bowl eligible, and we'll go from there. But right now, I think we have a really good class, and I'm really happy with the class right now. But I do want to add a few more, and then see what we can get in the transfer portal. But this has been a successful first season. I'm shocked at how successful it's been. Let me tell you, it's been a wild year. Mississippi State beat Arkansas 28-24. We're 4-1 in conference now, and we were 17-6 down after 3 quarters, and came back with a 22 fourth quarter comeback. Not a great rushing game for us by the looks of things, but once again, you win the turnover battle. You win the game. Mississippi State's Blake Shapen continuing to have a really good season. 2 touchdowns, lots of pressure, 6 sacks, which probably contributed to that 51% completion percentage. But 2 touchdowns, 265 yards is enough for us to get the win. Fluff Bothwell, 12 for 83. Good return out of him, Devon Booth. Obviously not able to get much going there. Next up, receiving, Aiden Williams, 102, 5 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Aiden Williams is having a really good season. Brennan Thompson, also 5 for 79. Really good receiving yards there. Defensively, 7 tackles for Kelly Jones and Dwight Lewis. Both secondary players, so not exactly what you want to see. Dinkins gets 3 tackles for loss, including a sack. And that's the only sack of the day for us. But we had enough. We got through it. And we beat Arkansas. Even with the fourth quarter comeback, we were able to beat them. And this was a little bit more, closer than you'd think. Well, even looking at the statistics here. But it's 6-3 now. We're bowl eligible as well. I forgot to actually say that. But with the way things are going, the SEC title might be in our midst. Just wanted to show you guys that we are on Heisman here. Just wanted to make that abundantly clear. Even though we just had a good season, I don't think we're going to have as good a season next year, because I think that a lot of players are going to leave. But I just wanted to show you that yes, we are on Heisman. Given that we're 6-3, 4-1 in conference. It's not a surprise that it all came crashing down here. Georgia comes to Mississippi State and beats us. I'm not surprised with this one. I knew we were kind of, the underdogs for this, and even though we didn't do a lot to lose, but we lost turnover battle. And what we've seen in the simulating so far is if you turn the ball over, you tend to lose the game. So it's a shame, but nonetheless, you can't blame it on Blake Shapen. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, just a single sack all game. So our pass protection actually held up pretty well. Bothwell actually did pretty well, getting 9 for 70. Glover, 93 yards on 6 receptions. Aiden Williams got a few. He gets 2 more touchdowns. It's a shame Williams is going to go because of the pro potential, but it's a shame, but that's the deal. Hunter Washington and Nick Mitchell both got double-digit tackles. Bingley Jones adds to his season, getting another sack. That's 5 on the season, I think. So, but nonetheless, it's a loss. We still scored 24 points. We actually played really, really well. But defensively, we just weren't good enough. Dog, can you stop shaking? Back to winning ways. We traveled to Missouri and beat them 42-36. High-scoring game. As Blake Shapen goes 379 and 4 touchdowns and 1 sack. Really good pass protection for him again today. Don't really look at the running game much again this week, but receiving, Glover 7 for 119, Williams for 8 for 117 and 3 touchdowns, Thompson 9 for 115 and a touchdown. Returns here, Aiden Williams has been absolutely superb. The fact that he's going to go because of the pro potential is just so unfair. I'm going to really do my best to try and keep him because he has been spectacular this season. Defensively, we got 2 sacks. Bledsoe and Dinkins get 1 each. No interceptions. Few tackles for loss. Bledsoe's the only one that was able to get more than 1. So really good performance. Another win, and that's what 5-2 in conference. Not 100% sure. We will check the standings though, because we are coming up to the end of the season. I think we're 3. We'll take a look at it in a minute, but we're doing really well. Way better than I thought Mississippi State would have done anyway coming into this season. So I'm actually not quite sure why we've done so well, but maybe just the schedule wasn't as difficult as I thought it would. We still beat Tennessee, and we beat Texas, and we beat Florida. So, you know, the only two teams I think we lost against were Georgia. And was it Tennessee? I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're doing really well. Looking at the conference standings, Oklahoma is the only team in our way where we could go straight to the conference championship. We're 7-4, by the way. We could go straight to the conference championship. Now, Oklahoma will probably end up getting that. If you look at their team schedule, who do they face last? LSU. Okay, that's actually a tough game. We didn't play LSU this year. We didn't play Bama. We didn't play South Carolina. We did play Texas, and we beat them. We didn't play Auburn. So there's a lot of teams there that we didn't play. Vanderbilt didn't play. South Carolina didn't play. Alabama didn't play. Did play Florida. Did play Missouri. Did play Arkansas. Didn't play Auburn. Was it Texas A&M we lost to? That sounds right. Anyway, we're 5-2 in conference. If Oklahoma lose their next 2, they have 2 actually. So who are they playing? LSU and Missouri. We just beat Missouri, so it's going to be tough. Look at our points differential. It's 17. Average margin of victory 1.5 in comparison to the other 2 big ones. Texas, even though they've actually had a really poor season, especially in conference. Yeah, wow, just really pleased with how we've done this year. As I said, I don't think next year is going to be as nice to us, but let's see. We'll have to wait and see. Let's quickly go around to the other divisions here. We'll go to the Power 5 conferences first, including the Pac-12, even though as bad as they are. I have included the teams that will be added to the conferences as well. So we will go through this at the end of the season also, so don't worry about that. So we have Boise State winning the Pac-12, which isn't overtly surprising, though Oregon State and Washington State, you would consider them to be slightly bigger programs. Maybe not so, because Boise State have been a really big team over the last few years. Next is the Big Ten. Penn State is winning that. They're 7-0. Oregon, Illinois, Michigan, USC, UCLA, they're all 6-1. So a lot of teams battling out for the conference championship game. The Big 12 is Kansas State, 8-0. Texas Tech are 6-2. They beat us earlier in the year, but they're doing really, really well. 9-2, 6-2 in conference. So they've only lost in conference. So they've been a really good team. Kansas State are winning that one. And the ACC, Pittsburgh are currently winning that, but Clemson are 7-1. So Pittsburgh are 6-0 and they've got 10 games played, so we'll have to wait and see. Now for the other conferences, we have the American. Memphis and Navy look like they're going to battle out in that, but Army and Tulane are right there with them. In the Conference USA, it's Middle Tennessee State. Or I should just say Middle Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it's Middle Tennessee State. 5-1. Florida International behind them 5-2. Liberty. Missouri State did a really good job this year. 4-3. Wow. New Mexico State, they're 4-3 as well. Obviously the team that we played with in College Football 25. Didn't really get far with them, but we'll see if we go back to that. I'm not sure if we will or not. In the MAC, Toledo and Buffalo are 5-1. The Toledo's Tucker Gleason has been going for the Heisman. We saw that. And in the Mountain West, it's UNLV, who are actually ranked. They're 23rd. They beat some ranked opponents. They lost to UCLA. I wouldn't be rating them where they are. They've only beat teams in their conference. Like, they lost to Sam Houston as well. So they're not that great. But they're still doing what they're supposed to do. 5-1 is a pretty good return for them. San Jose State is going to be a tough game for them if they go to the conference championship, though. And finally, the Sun Belt. We'll do it by conference. James Madison and Appalachian State are both 5-1. Old Dominion is still with a chance as well, but unlikely so. In the West, it's Troy with Southern Mississippi and Arkansas State who have both come out with chances of coming to be the representative as the West. So decent. We will look at these once we finish the season, but right now I'm really only concentrated on seeing if we can get to the conference title game. Losing to Georgia was a big loss, but I do think if we can, someone can do us a favor, we might be able to go to the conference championship. If we look at bowl projections, we're still looked at to go to the Ready Quest Bowl, but now it's against Washington instead of Michigan. So that's that. So I'm not quite sure if we will. If we go to the conference championship game, I don't think we're going to beat Georgia regardless. But it would be a cool thing to achieve in season one, and maybe something we can build on. But I do expect next year to be a lot harder. I do think a lot of guys are going to transfer, and this team's going to be weaker. Even with the really good recruits we brought in, I do think that because we don't have the transfer portal to its fullest, it's not going to be easy for us. And we're going to end the season with, of course, the rivalry here with Ole Miss. So obviously I would like to generally watch this game, but I want to get through the first season as quickly as possible. This video is already like four hours long. I know I'm going to do a lot of cutting, but I still do want to know it to be relatively low. While next year we will see a lot more games. This year we're trying to get through it quickly, and I think we're going to skip it. But in the next years, we will watch these rivalry games, and they'll be fun to do. Looking at the standings here, just really quickly, that's not the correct button. Conference standings. What happened with Oklahoma? They lost. Okay, so if we beat Ole Miss, and they're one of the worst teams in the conference, we might slip into the conference championship game, depending on how Oklahoma gets on against LSU. Now LSU has not had a good season. Let's be honest about that. But maybe we can slip through it. Mizzou do us a favor, beating them 38-35. So that was a close game. So there's a lot riding on this. We could go to the conference championship in our first year. That would be a crazy achievement. Oh my word. Season 1 has taken a dramatic change in this dynasty. This was supposed to be a rebuild, and we've gone from 2-10 to 10-2 in one season. We're going up against Georgia in the SEC championship, and I actually can't believe this. This was never supposed to happen in year one, but it's great because we might keep some players. Okay, so massive change to how this is going to go now. I want to watch that game. I wasn't going to, but now that we've actually made it to the conference championship game, Oklahoma still won. What was the difference maker? What was the difference? We're 8-4. Oklahoma should go to the championship game. I don't know what it is, but we get there. We're now ranked. We're 22 in the nation, and we'll face Georgia Bulldogs in the conference championship. So that's wild to me, but it has happened. We're going to quickly go through the statistics. Go to the trophy room. Apparently, we won something here. The Golden Egg Trophy for beating Ole Miss, of course. Looking at our season statistics. Blake Shapen, 26-7, 3,119 yards. A really good season. We will have to change it over to Luke Kromenhoek next season. So hopefully he's ready. But Blake Shapen was excellent this year. We're going to take a hit, I think, in quarterback play. I think Kromenhoek isn't quite as good as Shapen. If we take a look at his statistics, or his it actually doesn't show his view player card. I'm misclicking everything here because I'm so excited because I didn't think we were going to get to the SEC championship game. This is the first time that Mississippi State have made the championship game since 1998, was it? I can't remember what I said. But Luke Kromenhoek, what is his ratings? I mean, he's not terrible. His accuracy does have some caps on them. His power, not so much. IQ, he can still be good, but like, I mean, I don't think he's Blake Shapen, who's been really good this year. Running the ball, we haven't really done much. That being said, Fuck Bothwell still out near up on 1,000 yards, 843 yards. Devon Booth really didn't get many carries, but had a good season there. In terms of the our receivers, Aiden Williams, 820 yards, 11 touchdowns. If I can bring him back, he's coming back. He's been excellent. Jordan Mosley also he'll be graduating, as will Brennan Thompson. So it's going to be it could be a brand new receiving core next year. This could be a completely different team. Defensively, tackles, Isaac Smith comes in with the top tackles. For loss, it's Bingley Jones, and for sacks, it's Bingley Jones as well. We only had 5. A lot of players contributed this year. In terms of interceptions, we've got Jerron Manning, who had the most. He had 3. Any touchdowns on defense? No. Any forced fumbles? A few. 3 from Dwight Lewis, cornerback, which is very unusual. But Isaac Smith also got some, and Zachary Tillman as well. So we've done really, really well. Really, really happy with how that has turned out. But let's see how our players are doing in terms of the conference. Gunnar Stockton leads the SEC. Lagway, Simmons, Manning, Arnold. Lots of players ahead of Shapen here in terms of touchdowns, in terms of yards. In terms of touchdowns, he's a little bit higher, but nonetheless, he's still a little bit down the the standings. In terms of interceptions, he's actually the 4th worst, which just shows you the type of great quarterback play that you're going to get in the SEC. We're not going to have any good players rushing here. We didn't run the ball that much. So as you can see, Bothwell is there down near the bottom. Receiving, again, we didn't really have someone with crazy interception yards. Williams is in and around this zone, so even though we've done well to win games, we haven't had like a statistical masterclass by any stretch of the imagination. No one who led our team. It just seems to be a team effort that has gotten us on top. Like, you see, we're not doing well in the SEC. We're not doing well nationally. Holden Geriner led the nation in passing. Texas State, that's not North Texas. Is it North Texas? Or am I losing myself? No, I was right. It is North Texas. 2 Texas quarterbacks on top, North Texas and Texas State here for throwing over 4,000 yards. Owen McCone, I nearly said. Owen McCown also threw well, another Texas quarterback in Texas. San Diego State's Jaden Denegal being the only non-Texas player there. In terms of touchdowns, Caden Salter for Colorado, that's 36. And Ty Simpson, someone who was in our conference, Alabama, he led the nation in interceptions. Mackie Hughes for Oregon led the nation in rushing yards with 19 touchdowns. I'm pretty certain he didn't. Carson Hansen led the nation in touchdowns. In receiving, it's Zachariah Branch from Georgia. He didn't win the touchdown. No, that was Marlian Jackson from Louisiana Tech. 15 touchdowns, and Omarion Miller also had 15 touchdowns as well. So, yep, they're the ones who lead the nation there. This is, of course, before we go on to the conference championship game. We then have Jalen Smith of Hawaii leading the nation in tackles for loss. It's Kyle Lewis from Pitt. And in terms of sacks, it's Mohamed Torre with 15.5. Lewis came second in that one as well. Interceptions, Damari Henderson, strong safety for Colorado. He would finish top of the interception standings there. So really good season for us. We're going to save the conference championship and the rest of the off season for the next video. We're in the conference championship game. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. But nonetheless, we're going to do our best. We're going to watch that game, and hopefully we can make it a good one. We'll see you guys in the next episode, and it's going to be a big one. Conference championship game against Georgia, SEC title on the line. Peace out, guys. Have a great day.